Welcome to the AACFB's 2025 Meet the Funder webinar series. My name is Monica Harper. I'm the Executive Director of the AACFB, and I will be your host. Our presenters today are Autumn Faust, Britton Goldhart, and Scott Stone from Avtech Capital. Avtech Capital is both a funding source member and a platinum sponsor of the AACFB, and I'd like to thank them for their support of the association. Before I introduce the team, I'd like to go over a few items to make the webinar more enjoyable and informative for everyone. During the presentation, you should see a Q&A box that allows you to ask questions. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit your questions in the box, and they will be answered by the end of the webinar. Please reserve the chat box for communication between the attendees. The entire webinar should take no more than 30 to 45 minutes. And for those of you who would like to review this webinar at a later date, it will be posted on the 2025 Meet the Funder page of the website, and it will be emailed to the AACFB membership. At this time, I'll turn it over to the Avtech team. It is all yours.
Thanks, Monica. We are so excited. We've done this a couple years now. I think this is our third year in a row doing it, and we've loved it. So we're really grateful that we have just 20, 30 minutes of everyone's time. I'm just going to start by introducing us briefly. I'm Autumn. I'm our brand and marketing manager here at Avtech. And we've got Britton Goldhart. Britton has been at Avtech for 14 years. He is one of our VP of sales. We also have Scott Stone, who may be a little bit more of a familiar face. He's one of our senior account managers, and he's been with Avtech for 13 years. He is also on the advisory board with AACFB as well as the education committee. So you may have seen him at conferences. And those of you who are already familiar with Avtech, I just wanted to go over a few recent changes and things we've got going on this year. Scott Hansen, who is with us for so many years, just retired this past week, and he was a huge contributor at Avtech. We were so sad to see him leave. But we are also really excited for all of the upcoming growth and changes that we have this year. We just added Devin Curl to our broker desk team, so you may have seen him at the two shows earlier this year, but we will be attending the Austin, Texas show, the fall conference with AACFB, and the NIFA fall conference in Minneapolis. And we've been doing so many fun incentives. I think last year we did a Ruth's Chris gift card. That was a big hit. This quarter we've done some Nike Dunks. We've just been having so much fun with our broker partners doing new incentives and doing different things and seeing what you guys are interested in. So if you have any questions about what incentives we have going on right now, feel free to reach out to me or Scott. We're happy to connect with you after the webinar and get you on the list to make sure that you don't miss out on what we have coming up next. I am going to turn it over to Britton, and he is going to talk a little bit more about Avtech for those of you who aren't familiar with who we are.
Yeah, Autumn, thank you. First of all, hello to everybody out there. It's a great opportunity to be able to do this a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, I just wanted to go over a little bit about who Avtech Capital is. For starters, we are located in Utah. We're about 20 minutes southeast of Salt Lake City in a little city called Cottonwood Heights. We're about 20 minutes away from some of the best skiing on earth. And so if any of you guys ever get the chance to come out during the winter, talk to Scott. I'm not a skier. I fall a lot. So talk to Scott and he'll be sure to get you on the slopes. So the Avtech Capital, so we're a privately held equipment finance company, and our goal is to always provide innovative, flexible funding solutions to a wide range of industries. And that can be construction, manufacturing, technology, aviation, healthcare, and many, many others in helping them to acquire any of their essential use equipment, obviously without draining of their cash flow or tying up additional working capital. And so as long as we can provide a fast, competitive, customized finance solution, we feel that we've definitely helped our customers along the way. And how we're able to do that, we recently, a couple years now, have a facility with Capital One, and this has been a great facility for us. Number one, it's a strong, reliable funding source. It allows us to approve internally, gives us a little more control, flexibility for those faster approvals when we're kind of in a time crunch. And so we love Capital One. They've been a great partner in the past couple of years in helping us kind of boost the efficiency of these transactions. I would also say another item that I'd like to hit on is we are the epitome of a flat organization. To my office to the left is our attorney. If I have legal questions, I'm knocking on his door, knocking it down. And if there's any credit questions or documentations, it's just down the hall. And the great thing is being in office, we're able to collaborate. We're able to get really a team atmosphere, and it does take a team to get these transactions across the finish line. And we're grateful for the collaboration that we have within the office. Going off of kind of that teamwork, one of the things that we've been truly trying to step our game up in is our culture, and we've been really working on that for the past couple of years. We have recently just been named again a Best of State award winner, which is awesome. We take a lot of pride in that. It's not just about winning an award. It has truly been about the collaborative efforts between everyone in every single department and finding ways on how we can make everyone feel like they've been heard, that they're valued, supportive. Because when they are, they're going to be motivated to bring their best every single day. And when we're bringing our best every single day, it truly trickles down to our customers, and they feel the effects of it. So we're very grateful for the collaborative efforts. We've also been voted as the best place to work from the Salt Lake Tribune, which we're excited about. One area that I would also like to kind of hit on within the collaborative efforts is our funding specialist team. Now, a lot of times on the front end, you deal with Scott or any of our other brokers, Devin or Rick, and you guys build that relationship on the front end. Now, from the approval stage on, we have this specific funding specialist team. Their directive is to get these deals from that approval stage to the funding finish line. And I got a lot of pride in that department. I was one of the first ones. Autumn, you were the second, and to see where it's grown today has been awesome. They provide a quick, efficient, and relationship-focused effort in getting those deals done. And the majority of our deals are relationship-based. Transactions are just numbers, essentially. But when we can provide a relationship-based effort on these transactions, it creates a little more. And there's nothing better when we get a follow-up call from customers for a third, fourth, fifth, or in Scott's situation, like a 20th schedule. He's done a ton of those, and it truly does go to show that we value those relationships more than the transaction. So a little bit about Aftech Capital. Hopefully down the road, I can be able to meet a lot of you at future conferences. But Scott, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thanks, Brendan. So as I mentioned, I'm Scott Stone. I'm sure many of you have met me in the past. I've been with Aftech 13 years, working on the broker desk for 10 now. So it's really exciting, and it's a great opportunity here to be able to work with you all. And we try to keep things just as streamlined as we possibly can. So on our website, there's actually an online application that you can complete. It basically will just gather a little bit of information from our referral sources, get you set up in our system, so that way we can, remain in contact with you. And unlike maybe some other funders, we're a little bit different. We don't have we don't have any requirements on you. There's not like minimum time in business. There's not you need to send us 4 or 5 deals a month or a quarter or whatever it may be. Obviously the more deals you can send over, the better, and we're happier with that. But at the same time, we're not going to be turning your business away if it's just a single deal once a year. So we're pretty open with that. Also on our website, there's a referral and non-circumvention agreement that we have. This really just kind of outlines our relationship together. kind of gives you a little bit of comfort that when you bring us a transaction and we fund that transaction, that you're now the broker of record on that deal. You'll always be paid a referral commission on those deals, regardless of whether they reach out to us directly or, if they just give me a call and say, hey, we want to fund some more equipment. Of course, we're going to keep you in the loop and get you up to date if they happen to do something like that. But for the life of the account, it's something that would be yours, and you would always be paid out the referral commission on that. And also just to kind of give you that comfort that we're not going to try and work around you at all. I know that's happened with other companies in the past, and we are not that company. So paid out dozens of schedules over the years to the same broker, whether they're involved with the deal or not. So they always get that referral commission. So to get a proposal prepared, on the next slide, there's a few basic things that we're going to need. First thing is an application. This is just going to give us the basic information about the customer, let us know kind of a little bit, like their financial statements we're going to gather, and just their basic customer information. Everything that we're going to need for underwriting is going to be on that application. It's just a one-page form, so it's pretty straightforward. The next item we're going to get is a couple of years of financial statements. We work with audits, we work with reviews primarily, but again, if the customer doesn't do an audit, doesn't do a review, that's fine. We can still work with them. We'd gather P&L and balance sheets year-end, a couple of years, and then interim financials and maybe some tax returns, some basic information, just so we can underwrite the company, basically see how they've been doing and understand their business a little bit better. We also we want to know what we want to finance. So we're going to get a description of the equipment. That can be an invoice, that can be a quote. You can even just send me a written description of the equipment. We're fine with new equipment. We're fine with used equipment. We can work with both. But we just want to get an idea of what we're looking at to be financing. So our terms, typically we're going to range anywhere from 24 to 60 months. That's what you can expect from us normally. We will go a little bit shorter in term, kind of on a case-by-case basis. We're not a bridge lender. We're not really a short-term funder. So we do like to keep our transactions at least 24 months. There are occasions where we'll go beyond the 60 as well. That's not too common. It's for a long life asset, a very expensive asset, like a plane or a vessel or maybe a crane or something like that. Occasionally we can go out beyond that 60 months, but 24 to 60 months is generally what you can expect from us. Our payments are normally going to be monthly. You can expect that on almost every single transaction. There are occasions where we'll do a quarterly billing cycle, or we've even done annual or semi-annual. For seasonal type businesses that might make more sense for the customer, help them a little bit more with cash flow. Quarterly payments, again, that can actually help us a little bit with our exposure. If we're getting a couple of months of payments at a time rather than a monthly payment, that can help reduce our exposure, and in turn we can maybe give the customer a little bit longer of a term. So there are some options there. Now, what we're looking for as far as our customers, one of the first things that we're going to look at is the size of the transaction. So we are looking for deals that are $250,000 or more. That doesn't necessarily have to be just a single piece of equipment. It can be multiple pieces, and it can also be taken down over kind of an extended period of time. We can approve a customer for essentially like a lease line of credit, where we approve them for, say, $1 million, and then they can take it down over the span of a year, and we can just break that into separate schedules. It has 10 million plus here as far as our top end. We go quite a bit higher than that. We've done deals in the $30-40 million range now, so we do have capabilities to get quite a bit larger transactions done as well. The next biggest criteria that we're going to look for is the annual revenue of the business. So we're looking for companies that do at least $10 million in gross revenue. We will go a little bit below that on a case-by-case basis. If it's a good, clean credit, if it just makes sense, we'll probably do the deal. But we're a middle market lender. We're not a small business lender. So We try to target that larger company, larger transaction is kind of our thing. We are dealing mainly with A/B credits. We try to take a look at some of those better credits. Sometimes there's a little bit of hair on them. We will get into some C credits as well, but primarily it's A/B that we're looking at. Time in business is something that it's a factor, but again, I wouldn't say, given that we have a $10 million revenue requirement, there's not a lot of businesses that are hitting $10 million in less than 2 years. If there are, we would still be willing to take a look at it and see if there's something that we can get put together for them. But generally, that time in business is not going to be much of a problem, I would say. So we have a variety of products. Everything we do is lease financing in one form or another. So we have capital leases, operating leases, and we'll kind of figure this out when we get on the line with the customer and find out what their needs are. If they're looking to be able to take depreciation into a transaction, we can structure things under like a dollar buyout or an EFA. If they're looking for a low payment, or they're a nonprofit where the depreciation doesn't matter so much for them, we can structure things with a open residual or FMV. So we do have some different products that we can work with our customers on. We will also do sale leasebacks. So a customer may have a bunch of equipment that they want to monetize and they want to pull some cash out for working capital, just funding operations or whatever the reason may be. That's a transaction that we can do. We also will refinance equipment. So if they're not necessarily looking to pull cash out, but they want to see if they can find a better rate, a longer term, they're not happy with their current lender, whatever the situation may be, that's something else that we're able to provide to them. Most of the time we're doing our deals corp only. Depending upon the size of the transaction and the size of the customer, we might need a personal guarantee from the owner. That's not always a make or break it kind of thing. We run into situations where there's like 30 different owners of a single business, in which case it doesn't make much sense to have, 30 different PGs on a deal. We will also do 100% financing on most of our transactions. Again, this is going to be credit dependent. If there's some challenges with the credit, we may, or if the customer is just looking to get a lower payment, we may look at a down payment on the account, on the deal, or perhaps like a security deposit, something like that. We also have the ability to progress fund transactions. So, we run into deals where there is an extended takedown period that can take up to a year, like for a new manufacturing line, for example, where the customer needs to put 20% down with their purchase order, 30% down at 2 months in, etc. We kind of leave it up to the customer to kind of figure out those terms directly with the vendor, but it is something that we can facilitate as a service to our customers if they need those payments made. If it's something they want to pay themselves, we can always reimburse them for that as well. And across the industries, again, we pretty much get into every single industry out there. You can see from our list here, there's medical, manufacturing, transportation, aviation. We love to do planes. We've done a lot of them. There's not very many industries that we don't get involved with. We do 100% software deals, where we're just taking a software license as our collateral. So we're looking at some pretty soft assets that way. Food and beverage, restaurant transactions. We've done everything from tables and chairs to walk-in freezers and everything in between. So we can package these whole transactions as a single deal and just make it easier for the customer that way. Transportation is a bit of a challenging industry lately. We're still working in it. I know a lot of lenders have pulled out of it. But again, we still work in that industry and as well as many others. Energy, we've done many energy projects, big solar farms that we've worked on, done the financing for them. So we're a very broad-based lender. Equipment, it's just about secondary. There's not really a piece of equipment that we won't finance, given that the credit is there.
All right. And some of as Scott mentioned, aviation, we love planes. We've done a ton of planes, and we've got some videos on our website that I would direct you to. This one is for Heraflight, 4.5 million, uh, just on two Lear jets. And Autumn's team went out, did a video, was able to talk directly to the owner, make an awesome video about kind of how Avtech was able to help them overcome some challenges in the process and have a smooth transition into getting the transaction done. Um, the next one that we have is probably one that you guys have all familiar with, Planet Hollywood. It's a very familiar name. This is for their New York location, and this is really different. This is not your typical Planet Hollywood restaurant where there's generally a lot of memorabilia all over the place. They've kind of revamped how they're doing it. It's more video, audio specific, and we were able to go in, not only provide the audio video equipment for Planet Hollywood, but also for, as you see, Chicken Guy Fieri's restaurant, a lot of the restaurant equipment for the kitchen, as well as for the tables that Scott had mentioned earlier. And since this one, we've also done two other transactions under the Planet Hollywood family, and they've been a great partner to work with. And again, there's a full video where you can see what we've been able to do for them. That's on our website, avtechcapital.com. So wanted to give you guys just kind of a brief rundown of the roadmap from to kind of discovery to funding and what that entails. As you can see over here on the left, the discovery phase is where you guys are bringing in your customers' information to Scott. And at that point, we're sitting down, we're reviewing the financials, we're reviewing the type of equipment they may have or the type of project that they're looking at. And from then, we're getting together a proposal to get out to the customer. And generally, we have those out to our customers at the latest within 24 hours. Majority of the time, we can get them out same day. From that point, once they've been signed and returned from underwriting, the approval stage is where, as I mentioned before, we have our dedicated funding specialist come into the picture. And it doesn't mean that Scott disappears or Devin or Rick. They don't disappear at all. They're still there working side by side with our funding specialists. But their job is to make sure that any invoices that we're getting from the vendors are correct. They're receiving any additional items from any other stakeholders that we may have missed up front. And from that point, they're then getting everything ready to document and get those docs out. Our funding group is very quick and efficient with what they do. So that documentation timeframe goes really fast. From that point on, once those docs are signed, if there's any additional items that we may need, an inspection or an appraisal, that will get done during that time. And then we're at that funding stage. And so along with Scott, myself, and our dedicated funding team, we really do try to make this a quick, efficient process for yourselves and your customers.
Thanks, Britt. And I have to second what you said. Our funding team is amazing. We call them the dream team, and that is not a joke. They are amazing. They are the best. The reason we do so much repeat business is because of that team. They are phenomenal. And so I wholeheartedly agree with that. Something that I just wanted to touch on, just from a marketing standpoint, we have put a big emphasis this year and this past, the past few years on creating more resources and tools for our customers, just to streamline our processes and trying to find different ways in all of our departments to speed things along and try to make things faster for our customers, provide more transparency for our customers. And on our website, we do have a portal that allows our customers to create an account on avtechcapital.com, and they can create an application or fill out an application entirely online, and they can input their company information. They can upload equipment information, invoices, they can upload their financials and tax information, especially in a time where sending that via email is not always the most secure method. We have this portal that's in-house that is secure, that is something we can see on our end. It's it's secure, it's transparent for the customer. They can apply, upload, and have full visibility. And again, this is on our website. We're constantly trying to find different ways to streamline our processes and find new ways to make things easier. So this is just the beginning. Another thing I wanted to touch on is our broker learning library. I think AvTech was flying under the radar for so many years, and we've really tried to put our foot forward and provide a lot more resources to our broker community. We love our broker community, and we want to provide more of these tools and resources available to everybody. So on our website right now, on our broker program page, on the very bottom of the page, we have this library of videos, recordings, tools. We actually have another webinar coming up in about 2 weeks where myself and one other marketing manager is going to be talking about affordable marketing strategies for busy brokers. And we're constantly just looking for new ways to get involved with the community and looking for ways to teach and to learn from the broker community. So I encourage everyone to check this out. We also have a podcast where our CEO and our COO are talking about culture and business strategies and tips. And you can go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and listen to different people from AvTech talk about these things. And again, we're just trying to find different ways to connect with our community, and this is just the very beginning. So we're really excited, and I just kind of wanted to wrap up and to reiterate kind of what Scott mentioned. We do have a little broker flyer if anyone is interested. Feel free to put your email in the chat box, and either myself or Scott Stone can send that over to you. It's basically just a very high level flyer that you can download or print out with our parameters and our contact information. If anyone's interested, we can send that over after the webinar. But Monica, if there's any questions, we're happy to, direct that over to Britton or Scott.
Great. So just as a reminder, please type your questions into the Q&A box and we'll get those answered. So we'll give it a couple minutes for people to type in your questions. And I'm sure, I don't know if you guys want to give out your information in case somebody thinks of a question later. Should they reach out to Scott or you, or who should they reach out to if they have a question?
Sure. We have actually a broker desk email that will go to any of our senior account managers that are happy to help. brokerdesk@avtechcapital.com. Again, or you're welcome to put your contact information in the chat box, and Scott Stone can reach out to you directly and coordinate any questions that way as well.
Perfect. I do have a question. Can you please speak about current rates?
Sure. Yeah, the rates are going to be obviously very credit dependent. Ultimately, we don't have just a rate sheet that we send out. We look at each transaction uniquely. There's not like a set answer for that, but I can kind of give you a bit of a range. And it also is going to depend upon structure as well. Like if we structure certain deals under like a tax lease, we can get them very low run rate, like effectively zero at times, where they're basically just paying. It's not truly principal and interest, but you can look at it like they're just paying principal over the life of the lease, and then they've got a payment at the end of term. But I would say all in rates right now are probably going to range. I mean, really good credit, you're probably going to be, really good credit, probably in the sevens right now, and up from there. I would say we probably get up as high as maybe 13. And these things change all the time. And then again, it is dependent upon the credit fully. So there is kind of a broad range of rates depending upon the credit. And just that's really what it's going to boil down to. It's just how does the credit of the borrower look? But again, we're not a super high rate place. We're not charging like 18, 19, 20% interest rates. But 7 to 13 is probably somewhere in that range what you'd be looking at.
Here's Someone is asking you to send an email to Luciano, so I will get you that email address so you can reach out to him. And let me see if there's any other questions. All right. Are you a cash flow lender?
We are primarily. So we are looking at cash flow as one of the many parameters that we're using to kind of, determine what sort of terms we're going to be able to give a customer. It's not the only thing that we look at. We do full underwrites on every single transaction. So that's where we're gathering the full financial statements. We'll look at cash flow. We'll look at PayNet. We'll look at Paydex. We look at trends. There's a lot of things that we look at. So cash flow is important, but at the same time, it's not the only thing that we're concerned with.
Very good. I am not seeing any other questions. So with that, we'll wrap things up. I want to say a big thank you to all the participants and especially our valued funding source member and platinum sponsor, AvTech Capital. Thanks for a great job, everyone. And we invite everyone to meet with AvTech Capital in person at our expo in September in Austin, Texas. Thanks again for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all.